Hello, sports gamers, and welcome to another edition of the ECL Pro coverage here at Sports Gamer. Of course, my name is Sin, joined today by B Major, and we have some good pro action coming up today. The first matchup, of course, Neptune Hockey taking on RCTIC, and a little bit later, we'll have Gifu taking on Project X. But I mean, what can you say? Another good day of ECL Pro coverage, and I'm excited. How are you feeling, Brandon?
Oh, I'm feeling good, my friend. I mean, like you said, another great day of ECL Pro coverage. And, that's what is so special about the ECL, whether it's Elite, Pro, Light Core, it doesn't matter. You always are going to have the highest level of competition and typically some entertainment involved as well. So 2 fun series today. Can't wait to get started.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at the standings so far for the ECL Pro and at least one of the groups here, which we will be covering today, of course, focusing on the first matchup here between RCTIC and Neptune. I saw Lexans in there, which is interesting. These must be, oh, okay, standings from last year, I guess. So yeah, we can talk a little bit about what happened last year. Of course, Neptune, unfortunately, not up there. There we go. RCTIC sitting right there at the 8th spot so far in this season with the 7-5-0 record, and Neptune a little bit further down in the standings with that 4-11-1 record. So if they do want to start to turn things around, now's the time to do it. They've already passed their midway point of the season now with those 16 games played.
Yeah, and I think that is what makes this matchup so interesting. You have a team in Neptune Hockey that is kind of trying to get things going a little bit. They come into today on an 8-game losing streak, have yet to win a game in the month of May. So really the last 8 days have really been of what have sunk their season so far. But, you said it, Sin, still a little bit of hockey to play. Could potentially claw their way back up in the standings if they can get back on a winning streak and see some of the teams ahead of them fall down a little bit. While for RCTIC, on the left side of that board, but not very comfortably. You see just 14 points. They've already played 12 games. There's a few teams like Valco and Vizio that are right behind them and have games in hand over them. So if you're RCTIC, a team that is very used to being in the playoffs, have to try to accrue some points against a team that is a little bit down their luck. Very important for them to get all 4 here tonight.
Absolutely. RCTIC kind of have to be licking their chops a little bit with the matchup that they have in store today, but that does not mean that you could take any team for granted in any matchup. Really, we've seen plenty of upsets in our time here. We'll take a look now at some of the latest results around the pro division that we have seen so far, and may notice a few names that are familiar. Of course, Herlev Eagles, one of the teams from the playoffs in the last season. Djurgården Hockey, of course, they split with Otukset, and that's my best pronunciation. I do apologize on that if I did butcher it, but excuse me, they actually dropped both games at one of those in overtime. So Djurgården, tough matchup there. Of course, a former elite team here, but as we see, a couple of the names that'll pop up today are featured here.
Yeah, you see Project X against Vizio, not able to get both wins, but able to get 3 of the 4 points. And Project X, they're a team that have been another one of those young pro teams that have really risen through the ranks over their last few seasons and have really made their mark. This is their first season in the pro division, came up from the light division last year after making it to the finals. And boy, have they been ever so impressive. It's going to be a lot of fun seeing them go against Gifu Hockey. But, Sin, you mentioned something, a lot of former elite teams here. You see another team that's really been impressive, Leia Hockey down there beating Boston in both games. They're trying to make their way back into the elite division. HV71 also getting a pair of wins. So some of the teams with that elite experience having to drop down from pro this season, trying to rack up those points to get them back in the top flight.
Absolutely. So we'll focus now on our matchup today. Of course, RCTIC taking on Neptune Hockey in this first set of games. And a bit surprisingly, with that record, RCTIC actually has a slightly negative goal differential. Neptune Hockey, of course, theirs makes a little bit more sense with where they stand in the standings, but identical penalty kills so far this season, but RCTIC with that power play advantage.
Yeah, and that's where RCTIC is really going to have to make their money is on the offensive end. When RCTIC is able to score goals at a consistent pace, they have a lot of success. Interesting fact here, Sin, when RCTIC scores 3 goals or more this season, they are 5-0. When they don't, just 2-5. That power play is going to be a very, very big key to that, especially considering that they're playing against a Neptune Hockey team where the penalty kill has actually been one of the stronger aspects of this unit this season. So that power play versus that PK, when we see Neptune take penalties, that is going to be a very, very interesting facet of this game to look out for.
Absolutely. So we'll take a look now at the lineups for both of these squads here. And starting on the side of Neptune Hockey, up front, you have Egatelli. A different person than we have on our sheet. We'll have to confirm whether or not that's true. On our sheet, we do have Silkkinen in the lineup today, but perhaps it is Benny right there. Iake on the right wing side. On the defense, you have Yobo and Zami, and in between the pipes, it is Sporta. And on the side of RCTIC, up front, Limbe, Uryu, and Fani. On the back end, Fakiri, and then layout, as well as Rico between the pipes. I'm just going to try to get confirmation whether or not we do have our lineups correctly. And it is getting confirmation. It is indeed Silkkinen, so we do apologize for the visual bug, and we'll see if it's fixed here in these head-to-head matchups. And we'll take a look, as we always do, with the center comparisons, the moment of truth. And unfortunately, we do not have him in our lineups. Again, apologies for that, but it will indeed be Silkkinen here. So unfortunately, won't be able to see his numbers, but I do know he does have that identical face-off percentage. He does also have a 56% on the draws there.
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting to see Silkkinen in this game because he's going up against a player in Yuryu, very experienced, very solid on that face-off dot as well. So you have two guys that have had success at that aspect of the game, and I feel like the face-offs, a lot of times, we don't necessarily talk about them a lot, but they can have a massive impact on the game, giving your team some of those extra possessions and potentially, even more importantly, denying your opponent of those extra possessions. So the face-off matchup between Silkkinen and Yuryu going to be a lot of fun to watch and something that could have an impact here tonight.
We'll slide over now to the wingers matchup, and of course, we just need to get confirmation that it's actually the same person, just a gamer tag name, so just visual glitch for us on that side of things. But of course, taking a look at the production levels of both of these teams, kind of a gap on the side of Neptune there, and in fact, Egatelli actually below that point per game mark.
Yeah, and that's something that's been a very common trend for this Neptune hockey team. There is not one player on this team that actually has more than 1 point per game or even at 1 point per game. Yobo and Benny are the only two that are close to that 14 points in 16 games. And, you know, you kind of look at the other side for Arc, that their production a lot lower than you would really expect, especially for a guy like Limbe that scored over 60 points last season along with Yuryu. So two teams that have not necessarily found their stride, so to speak, on the offensive end is going to be very interesting to see who's going to be able to step that up here today.
And the men that will have to stop them, of course, on the defensive side of things is the next matchup that we are going to look at here. And, you know, for Yobo and Zami there, they've actually done a pretty good job of being able to put up points on the back end. And, you know, some less games played for Layout and Fakiri, but, you know, still some good physical play coming out on the side of Fakiri in particular.
Yeah, he has loved to throw that body around. 58 hits in a total of 8 games. I mean, that is not something that you see very often here in the pro division from a lot of players. You'll see some guys be a little bit more physical than others. Safe to say, Fakiri is one of those players, and having a guy like Layout next to him that is always so solid positionally, it kind of helps you be able to be a little bit more aggressive because you have that defensive partner that you trust to always be in position, be where he is supposed to be. But something I don't want us to overlook, over on that left side for Neptune Hockey, the shots blocked by both Yobo and Zami, 14 and 19 respectively, being able to get in front of some of those lanes of RCTIC, going to be very critical to Neptune's success here today.
Definitely. In the last matchup that we have in store for you, of course, the goaltender duel. Now, they're both hovering around the same sort of save percentage. Of course, we always talk about in the land of sixes, you want to kind of shoot for around 80% save percentage. That always kind of gives your team the best possible chance to win. And yeah, that's kind of the baseline average of save percentages. Both these goaltenders, unfortunately, right now, below the 8 ball in that regard. But, you know, it does look like RCTIC has been going in a kind of a 1A, 1B scenario so far this season.
Yeah, they've been kind of splitting games between Rico and Hockey Boy. We had actually got a look at Hockey Boy last week, and he was nothing short of spectacular. So going to be interesting to see how Rico does here against Neptune Hockey. But you never know, Sin. That's the interesting thing with goaltending. Every single night is different. You never know when you maybe have that off night, when you have that next chance to be able to come back in, get things going, and kind of steer the ship in the right direction. So two goaltenders that are coming in struggling, facing off against teams that are struggling a little bit on the offensive end themselves. It could be that opportunity for either of these two guys to really get things going in the right direction and have some positive momentum as they head towards or even past the halfway point of their respective regular seasons.
Definitely. There's always that opportunity for, we've seen it all the time. One good game, kind of one good matchup can turn things around both for the team and, personal stats, particularly on the goaltending side of things. As we get ready, these teams should be matching up pretty soon, but we can talk a little bit about what else is on the docket here for sports gaming coming up. And of course, tomorrow we'll be back at it with some ECL Elite action. And of course, Thursday, we continue with the SCL, the semifinals. Starting around the same time as we always do, 20 CEST, and of course the finals coming up for the Finnish side of things. The 1v1 finals happening on Friday, May 12th. That will be live in the beautiful city of Tampere. And of course, you can watch it here on twitch.tv/sportsgamergg on Saturday, May 13th. May 13th, you'll have the Bronze Series as well as the 6v6 finals. That one, of course, also live in Tampere and here on twitch.tv/sportsgamergg. And there they are. The teams have indeed matched up, of course. We just have to kind of mention it as it's a new thing for us this time. There are some banned abilities, of course. Big Tipper, Unstoppable Force, Truculence, and Close Quarters have all been banned. You cannot use the gold or silver versions of them. So we're seeing a lot of kind of substitution abilities coming in. And for me personally, I love to see a lot more gold 1T being used.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. And it's been interesting because you saw last year to where you did see a lot of those same banned traits be used typically by a lot of these players, but now that you can't, it forces them to adjust a little bit, and it kind of gives you a little bit of variance in what you have to do. It makes these players adjust a little bit to what they had previously and how they have to play. I honestly really like this decision. I know that some of the skaters are like, hey, now if you're going to ban our abilities, ban the goaltending ones as well, but that's what makes these players on such a different level from everyone else, their ability to adjust to these situations and make the best of them. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see maybe how some of those abilities affect here in these two series here tonight.
Yeah, and we haven't necessarily seen a huge drop in goal scoring. Make It Snappy has turned out to be an excellent sort of replacement for that close quarters, and hey, it activates from a lot more different places. So hey, maybe even low key a better ability than close quarters. But we are underway here. Of course, RCTIC on the bottom of your screens here in those home dark jerseys. Neptunes in those road whites. A quick shot on right there. Limbe testing Sporta there on the glove side, but makes the save.
And Hasten, we talked about it. You never know. You might have that one game, a couple of big saves can really kind of help stir that into the right direction. Sporta being tested early makes a big flashy glove save to start out.
Tie up off the draw. Funny won it, kicked it back to layout, but he's going to have to reset back in his own end. Had trouble holding that blue line, but Fakiri still in possession now. On the side of RCTIC, his pass bounces through, finally trying to work his way into the zone. Limbe has it on the boards. A little bit of trouble up high in the zone, but maintains possession. Sent down low now. Then he goes back up top. Lay out to his defensive partner. Kind of dangerous pass, but he works his way through. Centering pass hits off the goalie. Limbe still has it one time off the body in front. But this is some great zone time on the side of RCTIC to start this game off. Slap shot is blocked and all the way out to the neutral zone.
Yeah, RCTIC definitely the aggressor so far. Really from the start of the opening faceoff, they've been in the offensive zone.
You got that puck, couldn't quite cut to the forehand right there. He'll lose it behind the net. Sporta will cover, but so far, RCTIC really taking it to Neptune Hockey.
And this is kind of what we're used to seeing from RCTIC over the years, the way they're able to be aggressive and really push you and your back to the wall a little bit. Neptune Hockey experiencing that, has to try to get some pressure to counter. Maybe this is a chance.
Igatelli works it in. Yobo activating off of that tie-up on the face-off. One-time shot and a big save coming out from Rico right there. The first time he was tested, and not an easy one.
Yeah, that's an impressive save there from Rico. You're able to just kind of sit back and watch for the first 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden, the other team comes back on the other end and gets a grand opportunity. Really sharp save there to start.
One time from the point. Kicked aside by Rico there. Egatelli goes back. Yobo's shot's blocked. Can't quite get that big hit right there. Coming out from Fakiri. And now Uryu has it. He gets it sticked away. Good recovery defense right there on the side of RCTIC. The defensive pairing will reset once again. Good pass up. Uryu has it. Looking. Doesn't like the cross crease. Takes it into the corner. Fani now with the puck. In front right there. And the shot may have gone wide, but perhaps Sporta got a big piece of it. Nonetheless, perhaps a bullet dodged for Neptune Hockey, but they're back on the counterattack. Egatelli, L skating, trying to buy some time here, sends it down low. Yake knocked off the puck. Fakiri in possession, nice stretch pass up to Fani. He'll gain the line. Fakiri still in possession, down low now. Uryu looking for the wraparound. Can't quite capitalize on it, but RCTIC trying to get that offense going once again. Finally taken away, but only momentarily. Fani had it briefly. Neptune back in possession. Good neutral zone intercept. And right now, RCTIC just suffocating Neptune, but a big poke check right there from Yake. Coming in, doesn't have the short side, takes it behind the net. Pass attempted out front. Limbe took that one away. Trying to work his way down. Nice pass up to Fani, but can't quite connect. Yake back in. Pass over. The shot goes wide. Silkinen couldn't quite get that one on net for a rebound. Trouble in the corner right there. Kicked out. Dangerous location, but it went to Limbe. An RCTIC zone entry. It goes awry, but a nice forecheck. Pass to the middle right there. Couldn't connect, but Fani has it. Uryu with the spinning backhand. Limbe once again. Into the corner now. Uryu trying to go out front, and these are close calls right now. But Sporta holding strong in between the pipes. Counterattack now for Neptune. They have it briefly taken away by Fakiri. And he'll settle things down in the corner. Just about 1 minute to go. Long stretch pass attempted, and Limbe does have it. Fani knocked off the puck. Back to the point. Sent back down low. Limbe in front. Loose puck. And Neptune will settle. One more counterattack rush. Egatelli with some space. What a poke right there. He still gets a backhand shot off. Rico has to make the save. And that will do it for the first period of action. Not a shortage of chances for either side. Close calls, but we remain scoreless here after the first.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised here that we're still stuck at a 0-0 score with how many opportunities that both of these teams got. But I'm going to tell you, Sid, I really think that where this game is going to be won or lost is in that neutral zone, especially with RCTIC on the offensive end. They've been able to have a lot of success getting past that blue line. It feels like really not a lot of defense really on that neutral zone for Neptune Hockey, but where they have had success is on the forecheck when they're not allowing RCTIC to really be able to get past their own defensive zone. That is where a lot of these offensive opportunities have typically come from unless they're getting out of their own defensive end. So that neutral zone game, when RCTIC is able to really slow things down and break the puck out, that is where they have had a lot of success. It's where Neptune Hockey is really going to have to shore things up. But that forecheck, man, it has been relentless on their end. So it's going to be interesting to see what gives first between those two things.
Absolutely. You saw RCTIC with that time on attack advantage. However, just the 2 registered shots so far. We'll see if they want to put a few more pucks on net here in the second period. And Fani got the puck off of the tie-up that Neptune technically won, but first man to the puck. However, they're not able to get a chance out of it, and Neptune's coming back the other way. Limbe picks it off. And puck just kind of got lost in the neutral zone right there as Yobo was trying to steer it back. Dump and chase coming out now for Neptune. Egatelli can't get to it. Nice stretch pass just out of the reach of Fani right there. He could have been off to the races with a lot of space wide, but it comes all the way back.
Yeah, I like that idea there from RCTIC trying to hit Fani, as you mentioned there, Sid, just not able to connect on it. And now for Neptune Hockey, gives them a chance, and it affects that face-off percentage that we talked about earlier.
Uryu wins the draw. Limbe in possession now. Gains the line, passes back to his centerman. Fani now will take it into the corner, and RCTIC will set things up. Shot from the point, looking for the deflection. Uryu was in front. Good pinch right there to keep things alive. Uryu shot. Hits something and goes wide. But RCTIC still pressing here. Great forecheck. Fani in possession. Back to Fakiri on the point. Fani now in front and had Limbe, but out of his reach. To counterattack now for Neptune. Couldn't extend that puck fast enough, and Silkinen was offside.
You know, give Neptune a lot of credit. Whenever RCTIC has been able to establish that offensive zone time, which they've been able to do a good bit, you see 4 minutes and 17 seconds of time on attack. They have not given RCTIC a lot of wide open options ever since that first 5-minute flurry that we had to start this game open. RCTIC really going to have to work hard to try to get one here.
Now takes it, looking in front, once again taken away, but a good forecheck. Fani recovered it, back to layout on the point. His shot can't get through. Ryu has it. Limbe has it. He can't get the shot away. Neptune doing a great job just taking away those high percentage scoring areas. Big hit right there. Yake gets bodied off, and that leads to an offside.
And you know, Sin, it's pretty interesting. We talked about it with RCTIC earlier. They're 5-0 in games where they score three or more, but just 2-5 in games where they don't. This is looking like a game that might be closer to the latter. If you're Neptune Hockey, you have to be pretty pleased with how this is going. Now you just have to try to get one going on your own then here offensively to score.
Only takes one counterattack, one shot sometimes, but right now it's RCTIC on the counterattack. Ryu trying to weave his way through. That will lead to another offside. Not a bad look right there, trying to get Limbe going in with speed, but they mistime it here. And already, nearly to the halfway point of this second period. So face-off is in the neutral zone. Ryu will get the win. Layout will have to hustle back for it. Goes it back down low. Fakiri now will dodge the forechecker, slow things down, and begin to work it out for RCTIC. Fani has that one poke checked away. Fakiri back in possession, hits Ryu. His pass goes awry, but now kicked back down low. Ryu has some space right there. Loose puck in front. Fani took a whack at it, but Sporta able to cover.
Boy, and that was a dangerous chance there for RCTIC. It looked like that puck was loose and Sporta was not in the butterfly position. If there is a man there for RCTIC to poke that in, we potentially see a goal, but that has just kind of been the story for this team so far. So close, but just not there yet.
Good keeping at the line, but couldn't make that secondary pass to Limbe and Neptune. Well, they were on the counterattack. Great poke by Fakiri to break that up. They're going to try to start a rush back the other way. The slap pass play didn't work. They'll get a, I was going to say a clean zone entry, but that was taken away. Neptune now looking to counterattack the saucer pass. Goes by the centerman, Silkinen. And RCTIC coming back the other way. Good poke at the line. Neptune will try to settle things down. The forecheck from RCTIC. You can see them hovering there. Neptune is able to work it out. Good set of passing. Egatelli now with the puck. He tries to feed the middle off the goaltender's pad. And here comes Ryu back the other way. And unfortunately, that clutch at the line put his right winger offside, and we'll have another neutral zone face-off here with 5:56 left.
Yeah, you know, you might say that RCTIC getting a little bit of antsiness on those entries over the last period, but, you know, give Neptune a lot of credit as well, really locking down that blue line a little bit better. A few offsides that we've seen so far from RCTIC.
As Neptune slow things down. And the aggression, of course, coming out in the neutral zone. Brandon said it a bit earlier, that neutral zone could see, you know, be a high point of contention. We're definitely seeing that right now, as that's been several offsides whistles here. Either team just trying to gain the line and set something up. But if you're RCTIC, all that time in attack and you haven't been able to score a goal yet, starting to get into a little bit worrying territory as Neptune has it down low. Egatelli in front, the shot on and saved by Rico. Perhaps the best chance that Neptune had so far. And RCTIC's neckbinder says no.
Yeah, that is a huge save. And we've talked a lot about the defense and maybe the struggling offensively for these two teams. How about the goaltending? Sport and Rico both making a couple of really big saves to keep this game at nil apiece.
RCTIC does gain the line here, but once again, great pokes. Unable to hold. Fakiri looked to jump in there, and quite a few whistles here, and that's kind of taking some of the wind out of the sails. You got to think of kind of both these teams, but especially for RCTIC, the way they've been able to get so many of the chances so far. But Neptune making another push down low, bounces to the net. Kicked back up top. Zami with the puck goes low, and the Pass back up to the top, intercepted by Fani. Nice poke right there by Egatelli, who was covering on the back, and an offside once again for RCTIC. And yeah, it feels like scramble mode to me now.
Yeah, it really does. I think both of these two sides are really just kind of trying to find their way at this point, just trying to get something here on the offensive end. And you kind of wonder if a product of some of these offsides is because of that. Both of these two teams have been scratching and clawing to get a goal. They both had a couple of really close opportunities. It's tied at 0. Both teams probably feel like it could easily be them in the lead. They kind of get a little bit of that antsiness to where it leers on the end of being a little bit sloppy on those offsides positionally.
Layout now, looking to work it out. Passes to defensive partner. Space for Limbe down the left wing side. Spin pass goes all the way back to the point. Layout holds, doesn't like the shot. Trying to take it into the corner. Yake pressuring him and will force the turnover. Yobo goes to his defensive partner. 5 seconds left, perhaps a chance for one more rush. Egatelli, he has that one poked away. And at the end of 2, surprisingly perhaps, we still have a 0-0 scoreline. Both Sporta and Rico have been good when they've been called upon. And that neutral zone continues to be a high point of contention for both teams.
Yeah, we mentioned it early in this game, and that has really been the theme so far. It's just that neutral zone and some of the success or lack thereof that we've seen from both teams so far in that area. And, you know, you see RCTIC 5 minutes and 46 seconds of time on attack, but Sin, I have to be honest, just 3 shots on them that time. That has got to be a little bit bothersome if I am a player in that black and blue jersey, that have that much time on attack and not be able to get many opportunities when you have been there. Combining that with some of that struggle to really be able to get past the neutral zone cleanly, I have to be honest, both of these teams have to be really chomping at the bit to get that first goal to open things up, because so far the offensive success has just not been there for either of these sides. And this isn't just a one-game thing. This is something we talked about coming into this game. The lack of offensive success for these two teams, this has carried over so far through the first 2 periods.
Yeah, perhaps this third period we're going to see a few more shots on net from both of these teams, or else you kind of risk this game coming down to a bounce here and there. And yeah, no one wants the game to come down to that one. 2 teams are so evenly matched, but we'll see what happens. Limbe coming back the other way. RCTIC on the attack. The defenseman Layout jumps into the play. He has that one knifed away. And Zami will settle things down for Neptune. Good pass up to Silkinen. He goes to Yake. Pass back. Zami jumps up. One time! Saved by Rico! Coming out of nowhere right there. Another shot from the point, and Neptune starting to throw pucks on and looking good in the process.
Yeah, a little bit reminiscent of the first period from RCTIC, where they come out the gate firing away from shots. And once again, Rico at the beginning having to be sharp and in position to make 2 big saves.
Good win on the face-off, sticked away. Yobo has it though, and great job to keep things in. Looking for that shooting lane, but had it sticked away. Bakiri up to Limbe. He tries to go to his Setaman Uryu. They get that one taken, and here comes Neptune. Head of steam. Taking the half wall, sends it all the way around. Defenseman will activate. Zami in front, and shot looked like it may have been blocked on its way to the net. But Neptune here pressing hard. Behind the net now, they will retreat. As RCTIC gets possession. Oh, and Egatelli just can't keep that one in.
Yeah, and you know, Sin, as we kind of start to reach the later stage of this game, I know you kind of mentioned it earlier, you kind of start to get to that point to where you're maybe having that bounce be able to really affect the game. But not only that, but the later we get in this game, the later you have an opportunity to be able to respond to whatever goal comes. We are getting really soon to that stage where it feels like the next goal could very well be the winner. Both of these teams could really start to press even more than they already have been.
Yobo will take that away quickly, but a good jump by Limbe right there to keep things alive. Fani in possession. Bakiri now. Goes down low. Looking in front of you. But he was just in too tight on Sporta, not able to get a good shot away. It just seems like RCTIC continue to try to look for these grade A opportunities.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder when maybe they just try to do something to put the puck on net, maybe go for a tip. I know that there isn't that big tipper ability, but that's still a reliable play here in this game to try to get a guy in front, and you never know if you might get that deflection.
Tommy joining the rush, taking that one in, goes to Silkinen. He'll get it right back, though. Trying to send that one down low. Read well by Fakiri. He'll start leading the rush up the other way. His pass off the wall and right to Neptune. Egatelli has it sticked away, but going to press on the forecheck, sent all the way around by RCTIC, and they start to work it out. Uryu Defani, he's getting that one in. They're just kind of forcing that puck to the net. Defani has it behind. In front, saved by Sporta! Great pass from behind the net. Limbe, point blank, takes a shot, but Sporta keeps it out once again.
That was pure robbery from Sporta. I believe it was off of that stick, off of the shot that made that save. A huge opportunity denied there from RCTIC.
Jump off the draw, but RCTIC unable to capitalize. Dump and chase coming out. Egatelli giving chase. But RCTIC able to work it out. Uryu now surveying his options, tries to force the middle. Careful now, Yobo with that puck pickup. Nearly put it in his own net. Big hit at the line by Fakiri. Uryu will slow things down, lay out in possession back to his centerman. And Fani will gain the line on the right wing side, cutting to the middle, using that A, or X in this case, well. Unfortunately, they can't get much after that. Good poke at the line will stop the counterattack of Neptune, still loose in the neutral zone. Akiti's pass goes awry. Egatelli, Yake now gains the line, trying to slow things down, but whole lot of traffic. They have it now. Pass, poked away. Yobo trying to keep it alive on the line. Will do it. Bump from behind. Gets the desperation play into the corner. Egatelli giving chase, but worked out. And Fakiri makes the pass to Limbe, but taken away at the line here. Egatelli once again entering for Neptune. Back and forth hockey. Beginning to break out right here. To the point, trying to keep that one in down low, but here comes a counterattack. Could be numbers for RCTIC. Fani to the middle. Uryu trying to get that one through. Not a clean shot away, but we do have a delayed penalty, and not a great time to take it as we approach the last minute of real time. RCTIC will be going to the power play.
Oh, and if you're Neptune, that is an absolute crusher. You've been thriving against RCTIC so far in 6v6. Now you take that penalty, and it gives this RCTIC power play, one of the better power plays in the league, by the way, a chance to be able to break this game open with 1.5 minutes left. Can they do? We talked about this at the beginning in the pregame. The penalty kill of Neptune, the power play of RCTIC, it comes at a really big point in this game.
Face-off one for Neptune. They are going to be able to get that early clear. It looks like it bounced precariously towards the goaltender. But RCTIC looking to gain the zone now. Limbe holds up at the line, passes to Fakiri. And he'll slow things down, trying to hit Uryu. Cutting across. Still in possession are RCTIC. Going behind the net there, but too many bodies. Fani, toe drag towards the middle. They're unable to score. Egatelli will get the dump. 40 seconds remaining here, but the slow clock means this power play is extended. Fani will gain the line. Layout now on the point. Fakiri now works his way in. Uryu, one-time glove save by Sporta. Uryu with it once again. Poked off his stick. And slapped out again by Neptune. A great penalty kill so far for them. 15 seconds left here in regulation. Limbe with the puck. Looking back to the point, layout, slap shot, looking for the deflection, blocked in front, kicked to the corner, kicked out of the zone, and that will do it for regulation. One more actually hits a player of Neptune, and you know what? For Neptune, you secure a point with that extended penalty kill as well. They played great defensively in this one, and it'll take overtime to decide it.
Yeah, I think if you're Neptune, you have to be thrilled to be able to get a point. The first game out of the last 8 that Neptune has gotten a point in the standings. We talked about that 8-game losing streak they come into this game on. They didn't even have an overtime loss during that skid, so this is the first time that they even been able to put themselves back into the standings, so to speak, with a game. But boy, if you are RCTIC, you have to be a little bit frustrated with the way that this game has gone so far. Obviously, you're able to get the point, but this is a Neptune hockey team that really came in on the ropes for their season, really has struggled coming into this game, and really for RCTIC, not a lot of anything in terms of just really generating consistent opportunities, as you see one of the few saves there that Sporta has made. But if you're RCTIC, this next 30 seconds could be very critical. You still have that power play. I think they have to take advantage. If they're not able to, Neptune could very well steal this game.
Yeah, and you know, taking a look at some of those shots that were taken, they were all kind of disrupted in some way by Neptune. None of them were really clean. It's been so hard for RCTIC to get those clean looks. They can't get a clean zone entry there. That will do it for the man advantage carryover time here. Dumped out once. Unfortunately, the man was already out of the box, trying to maybe set up a long stretch play, but an icing will put that face-off back in their own end.
And you know, Sin, I know you mentioned those clean looks. The best way to be able to counter that is to try to get dirty looks for yourself. Get some of those pucks on net. You never know if you might get that fortunate positioning.
Good set of face-offs here on the side of Silkinen. Wins about 3 in a row right there to start this overtime off. And they have a counterattack. Yobo with some space. Yobo, speed, shoots, scores! Great pass up the middle. Yobo just using that full stamina bar. Streaks his way through, goes to the forehand, and beats Rico, excuse me. And Neptune end that 8-game losing streak.
They snapped the skin, and what a way to do it from Yobo. How about it, Sin? We talked about it for the entire 60 minutes. The neutral zone play, how neither team has really been able to break through cleanly, and the first chance that Neptune Hockey gets in overtime, Yobo just splits through the defense pretty much untouched. I don't think there was a defender even near him. He just kind of caught RCTIC watching and sped his way past with that full stamina bar. And you know something? That is the advantage as a defenseman. When you have that energy, you hold back for so long, you don't often press up in the play. You save that energy for some of those fortunate opportunities to where you have the puck and go on the rush. That's exactly what Yobo did there. He was untouched, got the positioning. Rico, who was phenomenal in this game, was not able to make that save. And how about Neptune Hockey? A big 2 points here and snapping an 8-game pointless streak coming into the day.
Yeah, and that's just kind of a miscommunication. I'm looking at the setup that RCTIC had. Fakiri was already kind of more up in the play, and Layout didn't read his positioning and was still on the right side of the ice, and that's just a miscue, which unfortunately leads to them at taking the loss right there. And again, it only takes one mistake. When you're unable to capitalize on your chances, that's what it can come down to there. You know, one miscue there in overtime on the side of RCTIC, and they find themselves on the losing side, still securing a point, of course, but that is a huge win for Neptune.
Oh, that's a massive win for Neptune. And, you know, you said it, Sid. You said it even during that third period. When you have a game like this to where you're not able to score, it's so tight. It's going to overtime. The later you get into that game, it's the more critical that not making mistakes becomes, because when you do make that mistake, the chances are your opportunity to be able to make up for it slim even more the further that game goes along. And once it comes into overtime, you don't have a chance to make up for that mistake. That's exactly what happened there for RCTIC. They get caught a little bit out positionally. Neptune able to take advantage of it. They score, and man, if you are RCTIC, that is a rough game to drop. You come in really feeling good. They were playing good hockey the last few nights, and to be able to, or excuse me, to not be able to even put up a goal in that game really has to be discouraging here for this team. The response in game 2 about to be very interesting, especially considering that they came in at the last playoff spot coming into that game.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what their response is in game 2. But first, we'll kick it to a word from our sponsors here, so don't go anywhere. All right, so we are back here. The teams have matched up for the second game of 2, of course. RCTIC taking on Neptune Hockey. Neptune Hockey getting the 1-0 win in the first overtime here, and we were talking about a little bit off camera. RCTIC maybe trying to be just a little bit too perfect and cute in the offensive zone.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Neptune Hockey, the way they have really been able to close out those lanes in RCTIC. They love to be able to wait around, cycle it, and set up for those perfect grand day opportunities. But sometimes when that's not open, you have to just try to put that puck on net, maybe get that rebound. You never know if you get that bounce to go in. And not only that, maybe set up for that tip play in front. You know, something that I've noticed is that the goaltender for Neptune Hockey and Sporta, he has not often gone into that butterfly position. He has typically been stand-up in 75 to 80% of the time that RCTIC has been in the offensive zone. So maybe try something different for RCTIC. Put that puck on net, go for that tip. You never know if you're going to be able to get that bounce.
And of course, do not forget we have the Madden Academy tournament coming up on Saturday, May 20th. A chance for you to win a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The NFL International Games, of course, in Europe. I believe the first place and runner-up we'll have a chance at that, so sportsgamer.gg/Madden for all the information as well as registration. Codes will be provided if needed. We are underway here for this second game as Arctic look to bounce back. Great turnover right there, but the secondary pass taken away by Zami here. And Neptune will look to counterattack. They get stifled nearly immediately. Fani taking it in on the right-hand side. Puck protect to the middle, trying to force it once again here. And Arctic do seem content trying to get those higher percentage plays.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing we saw from them in game one. And I think that after a while, you're going to have to switch it up depending on how this first period goes.
Uryu with the puck, pass to the middle. Limbe back to Uryu, looking for the short side, taken away by Sporta. Kept in momentarily, but Fakiri will have to reset, passes back to layout. He gets it to Limbe. He'll gain the line on the left wing side. Goes around, looking for that wrap. Perhaps that actually looked like a pass out front. Looking for Uryu. He keeps it in. One-timer look, stopped by Sporta. And he has been phenomenal so far in this series. Neptune now looking to work it back the other way. Nice pass up. Egatelli gains the line. He sends it down low, taken away by Fakiri, but right back up top, Yobo, the hero of overtime, gets bumped off the puck. That actually goes for icing there as Uryu got the buffered shot from the hit.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised it went for icing there. It looked like that he had already crossed the halfway point of that neutral zone, so a little bit surprised that call got made, but Neptune Hockey, a chance for them to get in the offensive zone and get something.
They do come away with that scrum off the face-off, back up top, and now down low. Egatelli looking for the middle, and that was taken away. Good pass up. Limbe has some space. L skating. Uryu now trying to force that pass once again. Hits off a leg, and Neptune has it in possession. Yake trying to gain the line, bumped from behind, loses the puck, and counterattack coming back the other way. Uryu. Now Fani with the shot on, trying to go for that far side there. Good save by Sporta. Yobo's pass gets disrupted. And Arctic has it right back. The forced pass to Limbe had a man all over him, and that's turned over immediately. Good zone entry there. Egatelli had to come back, but the timing was perfect, but they can't get much out of it. Limbe coming back for Arctic once again, trying that pass over for perhaps a high one-T look. But a penalty will be drawn here. Didn't quite see the infraction, but Neptune going to the box once again.
And this is so big for Arctic here, potentially. And, you know, if you're Arctic, you've got to try to take advantage of, or excuse me, if you're Neptune, you have to try and take advantage of this. And, you know, a game like this to where we already saw it was 1-0. Both teams have kind of been back and forth so far. You want to try to take advantage of that power play. If you have to see Neptune on the power play, have not been great on it, maybe they can take advantage here.
Yeah, just where that infraction was committed, I thought for sure it was a defensive trip, but ended up being an offensive one. They're looking to counterattack shorthanded. That leads to an offside here.
And something to look out for, too. That was Yuryu that took the penalty, so it's going to be the right winger in Fani that's taking the faceoffs here for Arctic, so a potential advantage for Neptune Hockey with Silkinen.
And tie up right there from Fani there. As much as it can be an advantage with someone that, you know, who's not used to maybe taking as many faceoffs. You know, for the opposing center, you got used to what the the centerman did for the other team. Now you have to face an entirely new player. Nice pass to the middle here. Long pass here. Limbe in all alone. Forehand scores! Short-handed goal for Arctic. What a pass up the ice that splits the knee. Limbe all alone. Makes no mistake. 1-0 here for Arctic.
How about that? That is the first breakaway we've seen Neptune Hockey give up all night long, and the pass from Fakiri over to Limbe is picture perfect. I mean, look at that right there from the other side blue line, not even out into the neutral zone yet, all the way to the offensive zone blue line, and Fakiri just puts it on the tape of Limbe to get that breakaway.
Nice deflection look there. Silkinen got a piece of it, but it went just wide here, cleared out once again. Yobo will have to slow things down. Back to even strength now. Not the power play that Neptune had envisioned here, but they are going to have to work their way back. Pass out front to no one. Besides the Arctic skater, Uryu trying to force his way through, cleared all the way back. That should go for icing, and indeed it does. So Neptune feeling a little bit out of sorts right there after they gave up that shorthanded goal.
And how big is that for Arctic? Neptune comes into this game with all kinds of momentum. They're playing well to start this first period out. They get the power play, and then Arctic with just a gut punch getting that shorthanded goal. Maybe this is what they needed to turn the momentum back on their side.
Egatelli's pass, just no speed right there, and all kinds of traffic in the middle of the ice gets taken away. Arctic, great pass over. Layout will gain the line. Activates from the back end. Ryu trying to get that wrap chance. Loose puck in front, and Bonnie had space. Somehow, Sporta made the save.
And I mean, it came off of a picture-perfect entry, just going left to right to open that zone entry up to get in the offensive zone, and it ended up resulting in a pretty good chance. Now Arctic really starting to push here ever since they got that goal. Let's see if they can maybe capitalize and get a second.
Yobo passes up to a centerman, Silkinen. He will gain the line. Has some trouble. Nice pass back. Shot from distance there. Where did he go? Flashed the leather a bit. Not too sure if that caught him off guard or is just having some fun.
Yeah, you know, I kind of wonder. That glove side was pretty open for him there. There was a lot of space that he had. Goalie had to really reach out over to that top left corner to make that happen. So maybe by design, maybe not, but regardless, a pretty save came out of it.
Good tie-up play right here. Layout takes it in. Good pass to Limbe there, but he can't get a clean shot away. And back come Neptune. Poked away in the neutral zone. Zami will reset. Good pass up. Yobo creeping in, trying to force that middle. 4 Arctic skaters there, and they take it away, but a 2-on-1 now on the side of Arctic. Layout, low shot! Miscommunication, though. I think Limbe slowing up for the one-timer. Nonetheless, Arctic will carry the 1-0 lead into the dressing room.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Limbe slowed up thinking that was going to be a pass onto his tape for a quick play, but I don't know if they thought that they had the time for that potentially to be able to get that pass off, get the shot off in time in order to get that. I'm looking at the replay of it right now, and yeah, I think you're right there, Sid. I think that he tried to pull up to get that one-timer open, but I think that the shot on net from Layout was the right play considering. So a little bit of a miscommunication, but Arctic not complaining at all. 8 shots on net in that period. If I'm correct, they only had 9 shots on net the entire first game, and one of those shots on net, a goal, the one on your screen with that beautiful breakaway play.
Yeah, so good adjustment from Arctic in this one, more willing to put that puck on net, and maybe surprisingly their lone goal coming short-handed there, but yeah, that's the proper adjustment to make after a game where you said it, yeah, with the regulation plus overtime, sub 10 shots. They come out and get 8 in the first period and have a goal because of it, and second period action about to come your way, of course. I'd like to mention that we are, this broadcast brought to you in part by Kovlan Lakritzi. We thank them, of course, from their continued support as Egatelli gains the line here for Neptune, taken away as he tried to feed the middle. Good breakup right there. Yobo leading it in. Shot on, blocker to side by Rico. And Uryu has it now on the side of Arctic. Self-sauce to generate some speed. Can't go all the way wide. Good job by the Neptune defense to take that away. Yobo, good pass up to Egatelli, gains the line. Good defense, but he maintains possession. Comes off the boards, back to the point. Zami now trying to get to the middle, and a 3-on-1 potentially here for Arctic. Fani with the puck. Fani, back to Uryu. Uryu looking for the backhand, ran out of space. Maybe even ran into his old player right there. The counterattack looking to get started for Neptune. Pass to the middle. Over Yake, shot on by Silkinen and stopped by Rico. Back to the point. Egatelli shot testing that short side. Rico gloves it, and the pushback is being weathered right now by the Arctic netminder.
Yeah, you know, give a lot of credit to Yake, the right winger of Neptune Hockey. He was the one that got back for them on that 3-on-1. Not only did he get back in time, but he's the one that disrupted that shot on net there from Arctic. Ended up in giving his team an offensive opportunity on the other end.
Fani now taking it down for Arctic once again. Pass back to the point, well read. That's Yobo all the way up there pressing his defensive counterpart. Yake has it now. Beat one, had some space, but his pass goes awry. Fani, spin. Can't get the pass away. And Yake will take it back once again. Big hit in the neutral zone. Egatelli in possession gets bumped off. And Arctic's aggression right now really paying off as they continue to force those turnovers. However, poke at the line will force the offside.
Yeah, you know, we talked about it. Arctic, they can lay that body down a little bit. They have 126 hits coming into the day. That is good for 5th in group number 1. So they're a team that is not afraid to lay the body down. You see, it's taken its toll a little bit as already you saw an injury there on the ice. I believe that was Yake actually that got injured. So the right winger for Neptune Hockey going to be a little bit slower than some of his fellow forwards.
Neutral zone draw here, won by Neptune. Silkinen's been doing a good job in that face-off dot, but they're unable to maintain possession for too long. Layout over to Uryu. He has it, goes to Fani. And back up top. Layout, bit of a hesitation, move, deflection, scores! Great play by Layout on the point. The hesitation, then move to the middle to get the shooting lane. Uryu in front, deflects it home. RCTIC up 2-0.
Never say these teams don't listen to the stream. What have we been calling for, Sin? Get the puck on net, set up for those rebounds, set up for those tips. And that is exactly what RCTIC has looked to done so far this period. And right here, it finally pays off. A nice job from Layout, just kind of waits, gains that space. Neptune backs off a little bit to try to collapse, as you know RCTIC has been going for those plays through Saw a lot. And it opens up that play for Layout, just puts that shot on that, knows he has the centerman in gear, you to get that tip, and he puts it in.
Shot on right there, the side of the net, and RCTIC feeling it now, getting right back in on the attack. Neptune able to break it up, but they can't even get past the neutral zone. Hit right there. They will get possession back, but RCTIC gonna keep cranking up that aggression. Turnover once again. Uryu, one-touch deep to the inside. Pass, shot on! Looking for the 5-hole, but stopped by Sporta. Counterattack for Neptune now. Egatelli, Yake now. Back to the point. Zami goes back down low. Neptune trying to get a shot away from distance there. Looked like it hits off something in front, but Rico able to make the save and smother it.
And you know, Sin, it's very interesting, the pressure now shifting to Neptune Hockey. How do they respond? It's one thing to be down by a goal. It's another situation to be down by 2 against an experienced team like RCTIC. I think that Neptune Hockey is going to have to try to find a way to match this aggression that RCTIC is giving them.
Fakiri tried a low shot there looking for a rebound, but it was sticked away into the corner, and Neptune coming back the other way. Yake has some space. Elskate slap shot on. I respect it, but Rico did not and made the save.
Oh, I respect it as well, my friend. That was a flashy little play to put that on with the slapper. You typically see it held on for a wrist shot. No. Yake wanted to rip that pass, but a great glove save there from Rico. If he's down in position, that one goes past him.
Fakiri now, nice pass there to Limbe, but he loses it, and Layout unable to hold the line right there with that pickup animation. So we'll have another offside with 5:28 remaining here in the second.
And this has looked like a different RCTIC team here in game number 2. You remember the 8 shots on net in that first period, didn't get but 1 goal on it, but again, just being able to finally break things open, just kind of feel that RCTIC starting to control the game a little bit more. They look more comfortable with this fast-paced style. Neptune Hockey kind of slowed things down in that first game. It felt like you saw a lot of offsides on both ends, and you kind of wonder if maybe that made RCTIC a little bit uncomfortable. Things a little bit more free-flowing right now. RCTIC looking a lot more settled in so far.
Yobo now off that face-off play. He activates, sends it down low for the centerman. Silken, a nice pass out front. The shot on by Yake. Didn't get everything on it, and easy save for Rico. Yobo forces the turnover once again. Numbers now for Neptune. Yobo with a head of steam. Cannot get the shot away. Looking perhaps for a wraparound. Poked off his stick. And RCTIC coming back the other way. Limbe, all kinds of space. Will gain the line. Hesitates. Uryu now. Thought about going to the point. Still in the corner, and tries to go down low. That's an easy pickoff here. Neptune comes back the other way, but their sauce pass through the middle gets disrupted, and RCTIC's done a good job of that here in this period, disrupting them in the neutral zone. Limbe on the half wall now, goes back to the point. Fakiri now. Thought about it for too long, and here comes a counterattack back the other way. Egatelli with space. Pass! What a save by Rico! A beautiful drop pass, the one-time put on by Yake, and Rico makes the save.
Beautiful save from Rico, but that's one Yake is going to be thinking about a lot for the rest of this game. He had 50% of the net open on the right side, and he put it just on the pad of Rico, who did a good job getting in position to make that play. But Yake, that's what he definitely would love to have back. Easily could have scored that one.
Funny trying to be between the leg shot towards the end of that period, but RCTIC got to be feeling themselves right now. Not only do they have 2 goals, but their goaltender's back there making massive saves at the right time. And a 2-0 lead will be carried into the dressing room on the side of RCTIC.
Yeah, you know, we haven't talked a whole lot about Rico specifically so far today, especially after that first game where it ended up being 1-0, but he has been nothing short of phenomenal. Every time he has had to be called on for RCTIC to make that big save, it just feels like he has been able to more times than not. It's not like Neptune Hockey is lacking opportunities. They already have more shots in this game than they did in game one. It's just that whenever he seems to have to show up big and make that save, he has just been able to do so. As you get another look at that goal in the second period from the tip from Yuryu.
Yeah, just once again, that's just such a good play by Layout on the point right there. It's exactly what you want to do as a defenseman. You know, if you just kind of rip that shot on the second you get it, or if you make it look too obvious where you're going, it's such an easy block there. But it's that hesitation move, then the quicker move to the middle that opens up the lane. It's the reason RCTIC are up 2-0. And Neptune have to respond here in the third. Trying to get a quick shot on is Yake. That one's taken away. Yobo on the point, sends it back. Yake, a turnaround shot off bounds. It doesn't have much heat on it, and here comes RCTIC coming back the other way. Urdu now, trying to force the middle, loose puck. Fani put a shot on, and Sparta will stop it.
Yeah, and you want to talk about goalies standing up and doing big things. Sparta has been another player that's really done some good things so far. Not in the lead as of now, but you could argue RCTIC could easily be up 3-0 or 4-0 if he hadn't stepped up and made a few saves early on.
Pass through the neutral zone, intercepted once again. Limbe coming back, stops up. Pass all the way across. Fani will get to it. Or you behind the net now looking for that short side play, but snuffed out by Yobo, who really has had a good pair of games right here for his squad. See him jumping up and activating a whole lot in this game and just trying to get something going. Poked off once again as they fail to gain the line. Yobo, great pass right there. Silkinen back to Yobo. He'll stop up, has that one sticked away in the corner. And Fani will look to work it out. Limbe slows up. Uryu now to Fani. They gain the line. Big hit right there against the boards. And Limbe almost forces the turnover, but Yobo turns around and Neptune now has the line. One-timer blocked in front by Layout, but Neptune still in possession. Back up top to Yobo. To his defensive partner. Shot on rebound. Enrico able to cover it right there. Good shot by Zami on the point. Can't find the back of the net.
Yeah, and a pretty solid cycle there from Neptune Hockey as well. Really one of the better times we've seen them establish his own and work it around to get some opportunities.
Pass into the corner. No one home besides RCTIC, and they come back the other way. Fani gains the line. Good poke attempt, but they still have it. Looking for that short side play once again. Snuffed out once again by Yobo. Nice pass up. Silkinen coming in. Between the legs, Deke, but he couldn't get it back. And Fakiri will look to work it out. Fani now is going to go wide with it. Yobo, though, great recovery there. Nice L-skate to avoid the forecheck as well. He's doing everything in his power to help get his team back in this game. Good pass through the middle. Speed! Low can't cut through. Still in possession, though. Layout. Activating himself, trying to get something going. And yeah, that's once again a defenseman taking advantage of that full stamina bar for a zone entry. Neptune back. That's a big hit right there. No call. Could have perhaps been boarding. RCTIC may have gotten away with one. But they're getting away with the puck in their own end now. Nice pass up. Uryu has it. Trying to go to the middle. Skinner's just wide. Yobo behind the net in some trouble. Two men on him. Works it around the boards. And Yake trying to go through his saucer pass behind Egatelli. RCTIC trying to get a quick counterattack, but Yobo takes it away. He now has it in the offensive end. Tries to get a quick shot away. Taken away. Uryu now self-sauce. And here come numbers for RCTIC. Layout joining the rush. He's sticked away by Yobo, who seems to just be everywhere on the ice right now.
Yeah, he has been doing everything. Remember, he's the one that won this game for Neptune Hockey last time. He has been amazing so far in both of these two games already.
Nice hesitation. Pass in. They gain the line. Yake, though, gets bodied off. Limbe coming back the other way. 3-on-2 for RCTIC. Fani, he's blocked out by Yobo. And he'll once again clear the zone. Egatelli's pass gets picked off. And Limbe just skates all the way back into his own end to slow things down. Saucer pass to no one. Yobo has that one taken away. Fani now back to Uryu. Uryu scores! A great pass by Fani right there to fight Uryu. Seemed to be taken aback by receiving that puck in that position, but fortunately for him, Sporta also not expecting it, couldn't get back with the desperation save, and it's now 3-0 for RCTIC.
Yeah, and it all started from the forecheck from Fani to be able to get that puck off of the Neptune defender. You see the replay of it right here. He just poked it off right there, was able to get it, passed it back to Uryu, who, like you said, Sid, I don't think he was necessarily expecting to get that, but once he noticed it, he kind of pulled back over to that forehand, it threw Sporta off, and it gave him that net to be able to put that past him.
The response looking for Neptune. They got a shot away. But unable to score that goal here, running out of time, and here comes RCTIC again. Uryu takes it behind the net. We may see quite a lot of this shot over one time. Sporta got there, but we're in sub 1 minute, and Neptune still cannot clear their own zone. Finally, they're able to get it out. Ekatelli, they need to score on this rush to have a chance. Yake sent back. Yobo comes in, trying to force that middle. It's not there, and yeah, having to get major aggression. Limbe, flying poke check, secondary, kept out off the shot block. Some craziness right now. Yake with some space, trying to feed the middle, but that pass split everyone on his team, and in desperation mode. A little bit of sloppiness coming out from Neptune. A penalty right there. It's actually a slash, and Fani is going to go to the box.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate penalty for RCTIC to take, obviously trying to preserve something that I dare not speak here on this broadcast, but nevertheless, I just have to give a quick shout out to both Yobo and Sporta. They have been phenomenal for Neptune hockey on that back end, both of them just showing up play after play seemingly, whether it be win or loss.
And with 23.4, it's a long shot for Neptune to be able to work their way back in, especially with that puck clearing the end here. It's just a matter of if they can find a goal, something to build on here. They do have it down low, sticked away. Layout will work that around. His pass just goes right into the wall. Yobo jumping up, trying to get that one on. A lot of RCTIC skaters have kind of cleared the zone. Oh, and at the buzzer, I don't think he gets credit for it, but a huge save off the one-timer. Neptune nearly breaking the shutout bid, but Rico gets credit with the shutout, so both these goaltenders actually getting a shutout in this matchup. But this one, 3-0 on the side of RCTIC, who do come away with 3 out of 4 points on the evening.
Yeah, and you know, I know that first game had to be very disappointing for them, but hey, man, when you're able to get 3 out of 4 points, I think RCTIC will take that any day of the week, and this one, well deserved. It just felt like they were more comfortable in this game. They really started this game out being the aggressive, and that's what happened in game 1 as well, but the difference, they were able to keep that through for all 3 periods. It kind of felt like RCTIC after the first 5 minutes of game 1, they were never really able to reach that same consistency offensively. They never were really able to reach that level and kick into that extra gear. This game, it felt like RCTIC were the consistent offensive team that we know they are capable of being, and we said it in coming into the series, 3 is the key for RCTIC. When they score 3 goals or more, they have yet to lose a game this season. They came in 5-0. They are now 6-0 on the season.
Yeah, it was just a great game for them. That breakaway goal to start things off, short-handed, really kind of working things in their favor. But this is my favorite one. Maybe biased as someone who plays defense. That's just such a great play by Layout, and it's the little things at times that really cause that separation, setting up Urdu for that deflection goal, and then it's the forecheck of Fani right here, just forcing that over, and then the pass back, and I actually think with this hesitation, he may have even known that was coming. Yeah, he just wanted that forehand. You know, we kind of misspoke earlier thinking that hesitation was because he wasn't ready, but yeah, he was just wanted that forehand.
Yeah, and you know, that is just a really high IQ play from Uryu because, you know, Rico, if Uryu puts that on backhand, Rico makes a phenomenal save. That is the right read if you are the goaltender, knowing he's going to that backhand, recognizing the angle that pass is coming from and where your defense is at. It's just that Uryu being that one step ahead and knowing that he had that time, that space to get into his forehand, put it on, and since Rico made that move, going and reading for that right side post, it gave him that open net. And, you know, give Neptune Hockey some credit. They were able to snag 2 points out of this, but at think another story for them, once again, the offensive woes continuing. Something interesting here, Sin, for Neptune Hockey, coming into the day, 9 of their games out of their 16, they were held to 1 goal or less. 6 of those games, they were shut out. Now 7 times shut out, in 11 of their 18 games, they haven't held to 1 goal or less. So that offensive consistency just not really there yet for Neptune Hockey coming up from the light division. But hey, they got 2 points. Arctic got 3 points. In terms of the standings, both teams going to go home relatively happy with what they got.
All right, so that will do it for, of course, this first matchup of our broadcast. But don't go anywhere. Just a bit later, we'll have Gifu Hockey taking on Project X, and that's definitely going to be something that I'm looking forward to. So we will be back in just a matter of minutes.